What's up? What's good, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? Prevent your GameCube games, PS2 games, PS1 games. Prevent all your video games that's a CD from catching disc rot. It's 1,000% real, y'all. It can happen to your modern games. It can right now happen to your modern games. I 1,000% will say that. It can happen right now. Let me say it for a third time. It can happen to your modern games. Prevent your games from catching disc rot. Put your games in sleeves like this. You want to prevent your games from catching disc rot? Put them in paper sleeves. Put them in paper sleeves. Put your games in paper sleeves. Prevent your games from catching disc rot, y'all. It's real. If there's like a 2-month gap in your, if there's a 2 months out of your whole year, whatever state in America you live in or whatever country you live in is hot. Yo, Dasher, what's up? Big backs. Yeah. Yo, if you want to prevent your games from getting disc rot and for them to last 20 years or more, you're going to have to put them in paper sleeves. Because, if there's, I promise you, if there's at least just 2 months out the year that's hot, and you multiply that per every other year, if there's just 2 months in that state you have that's hot, or if that state is hot, you live in all year round, you're gonna eventually come across disc rot. The humidity is gonna make your disc sweat. So I'm telling y'all that this happened to me in a short amount of time. Thank goodness I caught it in time, and I started buying paper sleeves. I'm separating them all from the plastic cases. It's the plastic cases basically. So that means like if you like collecting video games and you want to have a collection, a lot of those people who's gonna have those collections and you see like a big shelf, their CDs are gonna have disc rot eventually. So if you're trying to be like you want to have a little bit of a collection of games, I would tell you keep it into a stack of like 100 games or less. If I was to suggest, if you want to have a little bit of a collection of physical video games, I would advise if it's CD wise. If it's gonna be CD wise, I would advise to keep it around the level of like 100 games. And if you're gonna go over the number of 100 games and more, put the rest of them away in sleeves like this. Put the rest of them away in sleeves like this. So basically, look, all these casings. These are the sheets. This is the same sheet of paper for these casings right here. This is just like a big stack of games. Basically, I got look, we got Resident Evil 0, another Resident Evil 0. So basically, graded Player's Choice and regular version. I got Resident Evil 0. Player's Choice Sonic for the GameCube. It's a lot of GameCube games. Like it's really a lot. Look, Metal Gear Solid for the GameCube. If anybody know, then you know. So it's some bangers. It's some bangers I got for the GameCube. That's in the $90, $100 market. But regardless to what, look, Beautiful Joe. I got Beautiful Joe 1 and this one. I think I got part 2. I'm not sure. But so basically, like if anybody was putting away video games in boxes, I got like this whole little box is manuals. This whole little box alone is manuals. And when it comes to like stacks of these stacks of games could go in another little box basically. So the case is just those plastic casings. If you want to save them, put them away and save them. But now you won't have to worry about like your disc breaking. So Sonic Riders for the GameCube. If I would have left these games right now in these cases for maybe another 2 years, these games might have been destroyed. If you ever bought from GameStop for the past 20 years, isn't this the way how you get your CDs every time? When you buy a used game, don't you have the case and then you come up to them and they pull out this sheet of paper? That's how they was keeping it from destroying. It wasn't even, this ain't even also, it's two things to the story. This ain't only like to keep it from people stealing the game. This is also to keep it basically from disc rot. That probably was happening to them. They just never was saying it to nobody. All right. You want to know how many GameCube games I got? This is just a part of the stack. Or this might be the whole stack actually. This might be the whole stack. But that's my point. Is look how many games how many GameCube games you can stack. Like let's say look. Just imagine that's all GameCube games in each one of those things. So basically, I just put away like tons of that shit. You could put away like basically 100 GameCube games in this little box. So this is how I would refer to anybody. If you want to preserve your video games to last the next 20 years and it's a CD wise, just separate them shits into sleeves. Just separate them shits into sleeves, and look, you could put it away. You could put it away in a freaking box like that. But otherwise, you're gonna lose it. Otherwise, you're gonna just wind up losing it. Pause, Billy Ray. What's up, dog? Can you smash a like button, please? How dare you ask of a request, but you didn't even show love back? Tap the screen. How are you gonna ask people for stuff and I could use your support? Look, I'm still not getting it. Thank you, y'all. Tap the screen if you want to give me a like, y'all. Thank you. I need some love too. Look, like literally, look, I'm separating the sleeves. That will be the casings. I'm separating it from the case. That's it. Separate the sleeves and the books from the casings. And you won't have to worry about your games breaking. Yeah, basically I'm taking, look. So this is Star Fox Adventures for the GameCube. I'm taking it apart. Take out the disc, take out the manual. Anything that's the inserts inside of the manual, I'm putting inside of the manual. So any of the extras is right there already inside. I put it right back in this one box of powerful manuals. Ugh. Oh shit. And that's it. It's easy as math. This is how you'll prevent it for like the next 10, 20 years. I noticed we had a big wave of a lot of people doing that for these 4 years and whatnot, but I'm gonna definitely say you're gonna see something happen in the next 4 or 5 years dealing with this. And the smartest people I'm gonna tell you is the ones who did this format. I got good here. All right? I got good here. We back to beefing, son. We back like it never left. Yeah, that was 24 hours. It's been officially 24 hours. So you definitely a New Yorker. I'm gonna call you a New Yorker. You handled your bid. I gotta respect you on that one. All right? You handled your bid. You're back. I'm actually happy you're back. If you think I want to be doing this right now, I really don't. If you think I'm like to be keeping a buck with you, what I'm doing right at this moment, I don't want to do this shit. If I really had a choice, I don't want to do this shit. This is not fun right now, bro. But it's work basically. So pardon my French. Jaleel, yeah. I wish, dude, you don't even, I know you don't even know about that word you're using right there. I'm going to tell you that exactly what you said, dumpster. I wish, yo, you don't, I wish, bro. That shit don't really work like that. That's in real life, that shit don't work like that. Exactly the context of what you just said right there. In real life, that shit does. I've tried it. That shit does not work like that. I wish. I wish. I wish it was that. You know, you might have thought that you saying that means like that's like a dumb thing to do. Like, I wish it was that easy. That's what I mean by that. To just, if you could just jump in a dumpster. You know how easy that is to do? I wish it was that easy. All right, I bet you wouldn't have expected me to say that for an answer. Yes, I wish I could just go dumpster diving. Yes, I would. Yes, it's not that easy. It's harder than that. All right? If you thought dumpster diving was easy, it's harder than that. A lot harder than that. Dumpster diving is wild hard. You really ain't gonna find shit. Disc rack. Yeah. If you ever bought from GameStop, consider to keep those sleeves or start buying packs of sleeves again and put your disc inside of sleeves. It'll preserve it from the disc rotting away. I basically just saved a lot of my time right now by doing this. I really did, yo. Like, I'm really happy I did that. Sonic Gems for the GameCube. Zoids. I don't even play none of this shit. Yeah, disc rot is that over time, if your disc is in like hot weather, moist weather, it could wind up damaging and breaking. So anybody's trying to figure out and understand how to prevent from disc rot, this is it. This is basically it. Put them in paper sleeves like this. You want to prevent disc rot, just put them in paper sleeves just like this. All right? Carper can't afford nothing like that. Carpy can afford that a day in their life. They're too poor for this kind of stuff. Like, what is that? Physical things that you just can't afford. Carpy is a fucking hater, bro. You're supposed to give me a like. Support. And niggas said, what about those guys on YouTube that find bins full of games? I don't believe that shit. I keep it 100 with you, Carpy. I don't believe that shit at all. I don't believe that shit at dude. I mean, like, yeah, once in a blue moon, people throw shit away. Like, you're gonna be jumping like in 200 fucking garbage dumpsters. If I was to answer Carpy with that one. That dude in real life jumps in like 200 garbage cans before that might happen. I'm not jumping in 200 garbage cans before that shit happens. I'm good on that. So, I just think that's bullshit. That might be trolling. I wouldn't even that you see in real life. I wouldn't even do that to people. Where I would put out videos where you see me jumping in some garbage can or some nonsense, and it's a whole lot all along just to trick you into jumping into garbage cans. Like that's just foul. That's just straight up foul, bro. If I was to say. So yeah, I don't think that's real, Carpy. Keep it 100 with you. I don't think that's real at all. I think that's like I'm telling you, you're gonna be jumping in like 200-300 dumpsters before that even happens. So I just don't think that's realistic. Yeah, I think that's a lot. Like that those are trolling videos. Look what I just found right now. Whoa, a PlayStation 5 and like 20 games? This is why I stay jumping in the dumpster, y'all. Like, that's fucked up. Yeah. That's messed up, yeah. That's cruel. Now that's cruel. I couldn't do that to a human being, yo. I be making fake videos for y'all just to psychologically F with y'all and make y'all do useless things. Like that's just wild dumb. Yeah, shout out to Knickerbocker. I best star, yeah. Yeah, you wildin', bro. Yo, you wildin'. You wildin', alright. I like that. I like that. Nah, but yeah, those are trolling videos. I wouldn't do shit like that. Like if I got permission to which I might not still do, but if the dude gave me permission, but like I might do it again. There's like a storage I got access to that's like filled with like toys from like maybe the 1980s and the 1970s, like a lot of shit that's worth some money right now. And I recorded the storage a little bit, but I never posted it on the internet. So maybe I'll post that one day for an example. But like that's still needles in haystacks. That's not like every storage one after another. This person has a ton of shit. And this person has a ton of shit. It's not really like that in the world. I need something to drink. But yeah, dead ass. So look, like little boxes like this can hold you. Yeah, that shit is a hustle. Little boxes like this will hold you 100 games, maybe like 75, 100 fucking games. Instead of you having boxes and these fucking 2 shelves and a whole room of shelves and shelves of all these fucking video games. That shit is crazy. Yo. I'd rather do this format right here, take this shit apart and just put it in these little boxes, and that's it. Keep it pushing. To keep it 100. Yeah, Storage Wars. That's the equivalency of what we was just talking about, jumping in dumpsters. It's the same shit. You will be jumping in a lot of fucking dumpsters, basically, before, like, I never even did that, to keep it 100 with you. I know associates, my fam know associates, of like, when I mean associates, people who deal with different forms of businesses, and we're like-minded people. They'll see I'm a noble person, we see they're a noble person, we'll rub elbows together and do business. It's as simple as that. But I ain't jumping in those storage or dumpsters. I ain't doing that shit. Fishing person. Oh yeah, I see you. You're white. You're fish. Yeah. So what? I'm not clicking with the Instagram rhythm. I'm talking about some real good stuff right here. Instagram. I mean YouTube. My bad. Yo, I'm not sponsored. This is not a sponsored video. Let's get that out the way too. This is not a sponsorship. This is not a sponsored video. I'm just talking about preserving CDs from damaging. That's all this video is about. I'm not talking about Nintendo. I'm not like when I'm showing these objects. I am not promoting none of these objects. This is only merely about. This is nothing about promotion. This is only about preservation, to preserve an object from being damaged. That's all this video, this live stream video is about. Maybe I needed to say that from the beginning of the video. Who knows? What would I tell you how I feel from 7 days ago to right now? I feel so much better. If I was to tell you how I felt 7 days ago to right now about putting these games into these sleeves and getting rid of these cases, I feel so much better. 1,000,000,000 times better. I'm gonna tell you personally, my favorite console is PS1. I like GameCube for Zelda and a lot of other games, but something about the graphics of the PS1 era is gonna be forever stuck with me. So I like the PS1. The PS2 got a lot. Yo, between the PS1, if anybody wanted to wonder what consoles, to my opinion, have the most games, PS1 and PS2. PS1 and PS2. They produced a lot of Japanese games for both of those consoles. A lot of Japanese games that didn't come out over here. Up to right now, PS5, they still didn't come. The games didn't come out over here. PS1, PS2 got a lot of good games. Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and the Switch, I think, is the best three. If you want to collect, right? Okay, we're going into a future dealing with more metaverse games, and I've been watching some Asian actual video advertisements about games that ain't come out yet, dealing with using metaverse fighting and whatnot. I would suggest collect Nintendo Wii games. Nintendo Wii games, if anybody's looking to like flip like a couple years from now, it's gonna come back to haunt people. I promise y'all. You could buy those games for like under $5 still right now, if not lucky $1, $2. I'm telling y'all, Nintendo Wii, in a couple years, Nintendo Wii is gonna come back and bite everybody in the butt who didn't collect those games. All that needs to keep getting popular right now at this moment. I'm gonna tell you what is gonna make the Nintendo Wii an expensive console later down. The metaverse, that helmet that you put on, and you're playing with those two sticks doing virtual VR games. The more they stabilize and that gets better, it's gonna trickle back to the Nintendo Wii. The more we go into metaverse VR video games, it's gonna trickle back to the Nintendo Wii. So I would say if you're trying to collect of a game system, Nintendo never fails. Most of these consoles, when it comes to a value, it never fails. I'm gonna say try to collect Nintendo Wii games. It's gonna come back around. Just like how the GameCube blew up just a couple years ago. What was the next console after the GameCube? Nintendo Wii. You can still get those games for like $2 to $5 right now. So yeah, this is my first pile in my life. Like I had GameCube games, but like to say about like how you say you sold it. This is my first pile I obtained maybe a year or two ago, and I ain't paid really nothing for it. So I don't know if you sold within the past 4 years, but I kind of would have held on to it. Cause like if you really kind of, if you really look at what happened right now with complete in-box Nintendo up to N64 games, that's gonna happen with GameCube games eventually. Them game, the complete in-box, like a couple of years ago, you could have bought for like $10, $5. It turned into $100 bill. So that's what's gonna happen with the Nintendo games too. That's definitely gonna happen with the Nintendo Cube games eventually. They're gonna hit the 100 and change, and they already are. They're already a good couple of the games that's like 100 and change, $200. But eventually, more games are gonna trickle into that category of price. I missed out on that era. Yo, I never collected games most of my life. I was just like a regular consumer who, oh, mommy, daddy, PlayStation 1 came out. Oh, you won't even know what fucking game, out of a billion games, you don't even know what game to pick. So you're just a retard just picking random stuff. That was me, average consumer. And then a couple years ago, I locked in. Dude, if anybody was ever smart over the past 20 years, like doing what I've been doing over the past 2 to 4 years now, if anybody was smart 20 years ago, you would have bought Silent Hills by the stack. You would have bought Resident Evils by the stack. You would have bought certain GameCube games stack. If you look at all 3 Silent Hills, 1 through actually all 5 or 6 Silent Hills, it's over like $100 bill. Those games was I think like $5 or $10 at a time at GameStop. I just wasn't buying video games like through my life. I was a regular consumer. Oh, a Call of Duty. Oh, a Grand Theft Auto. Like so I never knew about sales, like yearly sales where you can wind up getting stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks of. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. So whoever in America or around the world figured that out, more power to you. You were smart. You were smart as hell for doing that. Because then 5 or 10 years later, as long as you kept it right, you was turning your $5, $10 bills into $100 bill, $200, $300 bills. Whenever GameStop was really having GameCube games, like let's say, or consumer stores was having GameCube games, that I didn't know about, oh, if you wait a year later, you could buy this brand new GameCube game for $20. So the smart ones, that's why you still see right now modern day in them auctions, whoever was those dudes who held them for 15, 20 years sealed and they might have only paid $10, $20 for that shit. And now they're busting them off for 500, 1,000, 10 racks. That's crazy. Yeah, cheap poor man's investment. Buy a body when these games go on sale. Buy them sealed for the $20 bill and just put it away. Buy a stack if you got a couple dollars in your pocket. This is not that much money to do this. You wait till the right games, hit them $20 bill sales, buy it sealed, mint condition, and you put it away in a box for the next 10 years and better. And you got some gems on you that's gonna be worth some money. I'm telling y'all, this is all true story. Because basically, if anybody, when COVID happened, this GameCube games was the wildest, biggest scream, the hottest thing in the world. Gave everybody, you need to buy GameCube all over again. So what if I told you at least 2 years ago, I've had these from 2 years ago, and I just have, because of what I learned, what I developed to learn about what was going on between Nintendo up to 64. I was like, oh, yo, I got a whole stack of GameCube games for maybe like $200. What does that hurt me to even, let's say if all of it broke. Let's say this stack I bought was worth a couple G's. Let's just say that, but I only spent $200. And I'm taking a risk right now, letting it maybe break. I only paid $200. That's the real truth about it. But really, in reality, I am trying to keep it in the best condition as much as possible. Hence, why I started ordering these paper sleeves. Because I want to put these away for 10 years and better. And in that 10 years and better, these GameCube games is going to turn into like $300, $500 games. That's crazy. In the next couple years, you're gonna see these keep going up and up and up. Sony of Japan just officially discontinued more than 3 if more weeks ago CDR disc. That is big news. That's big news. Sony of Japan just discontinued CD rewritable disc. How can a warehouse... This is really true. Let's say you bought CD rewritables, you could buy those for like 20 cents, maybe 10 cents if you buy a wholesale. I've been starting. I've already... Okay, what I would suggest is just try to figure out for your best of deal how to get what you like. The gems that you like or you would like to have had in your hands. Try to start figuring out how to get that. That's what I would suggest. Just buy. If you could buy them for dirt. If you could buy a bunch of games for dirt, yeah. Yes. If you could buy a bunch of games, when I mean dirt, you're paying $2, $1. Yeah. But now, because you know certain games cost certain prices, what I really would say is like, if there's anything from your childhood or anything you like before that's not from your childhood but you just like from the past, try to start figuring it out now, because it's gonna be stupid later. The price is gonna be so. I would not be buying it. Basically, if I see, like, okay, right now, I got Silent Hill 1. It's not American. It's Japanese. I bought the Japanese version because I'm not paying $100. So okay, that's already to show you I have a cap at how much I would even pay for a video game. Seriously, I mean 1,000. I have a cap. Let's get into that one. In the closet, I got like 2-3 boxes. I might got like 2 or like 250 or more Game Boy and Game Boy Advance cartridges. So 2 years ago, I went to New Jersey and I came across a game store or two that was like selling them for like $2, $3. I was just like, definitely bet. They were confused to me. That's the funny part. Let me tell you about the Game Boy Color and the Game Boy Advance. Let's talk about those two systems just alone. They were confused. These two stores in Jersey were confused to why I was buying so many games. Check it out. For one, every game I was buying was worth around $6 and better, and I was only paying $2. That means I was double, tripling the value of my dollar once I bought that cartridge. That's number one. Number two, a lot of those games I studied. I studied on YouTube before I came across them. And then, oh, you got them for sale for $2, $3. These are good deals. Yo, I'll just buy them all. Boom, 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 boom. I was buying doubles and triples. Boom, 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 boom. Just buying them shits. This is 2 years ago. The Game Boy Color is the best of the Nintendo. So what do I mean by that is that after the Nintendo was discontinued, when it, let's say even more, that was an opportunity for people who want to build games. It gave them a chance to start building the very best of a Nintendo cartridge game, like the most how you could compress the most data into that, or graphics into that data. So Game Boy Color is the best. It's like the best maybe of Nintendo games. The Game Boy Advance is the best of Super Nintendo games. There are a couple games for the Game Boy Advance that are like that are basically 3D PlayStation 1 games. Super Nintendo, they only had two games that was, if I'm right, 3D, which was Star Fox and Stunt Race FX. The Game Boy Advance is like the best of a Super Nintendo. So if you can come around those for $2, $1, $3 or whatever, I would definitely say it's gonna come back to that shit. Yeah. Now I would definitely suggest collect Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color games. There's a lot of gems you could still buy. There's a game for the Nintendo called Mighty Final Fight that's a couple $100. The cartridge alone is a couple $100. Complete in box is a couple $100 more. Hold on one second. If I can find this shit. Here it goes. You can still buy this shit for like 30, 40 bucks right now. Complete in box for the Game Boy Advance. It has Mighty Final Fight on it. This game was sitting around. This game was printed 2006. From 2006, this is almost about to be 20 years old. This Game Boy Advance game. Check this out. This is complete sealed in box. This is complete sealed in box. Check it out. Yo, you could have bought this for maybe $5 to $10, maybe even $3, brand new sealed in box, over the past 20. Not to say 20 years, like over the 50, like over the past 20 years. Let's say 2 years, 3 years after this came out, I think it might have plunked in value. You could have bought this for dirt cheap. You could have bought these cartridges maybe for 50 cents to $1. But the game on this cartridge is worth like $200-300. This is the only time Capcom ever reprinted this. I got one complete in box like this, sealed, complete sealed. I got 4 copies. I got 4 cartridges of this bitch. I got 4 cartridges, used cartridges, and 1 sealed in the box. And it don't even have no value right now. It ain't have value for 20 years. I just learned about this game maybe over the past 2 years. I might have learned about this a year to a year and a half, 2 years ago. This game. This been out for 20 years. I'm an old head. This game been out for 20 years. I never knew about it. I learned about it 2 years ago. And once I saw that this game was on it, yeah, I'll buy the cartridge. Yes, I will buy the cartridge. So I would say to anybody, if you could buy a bunch of these cartridges, you're not gonna, like, I don't know how many years till people catch wind. You're not gonna be disappointed once people catch wind. Once people catch wind on that cartridge, you will not be disappointed. That cartridge will go into, okay, they only printed this in America, if I'm right. In Japan, they know about the value of this, and it's not that cheap in Japan. In Japan, it might be like in the 70s or more. But over here, you could buy it under 10 bucks for some reason. Watch when that wave hit. Watch when that wave hit. So I'm gonna say for myself, I missed out on the Nintendo wave, Super Nintendo. I missed out from Nintendo to N64. I got lucky 2 years ago and got some GameCube games. Otherwise, I would have missed out on that one too, to say. And blessedly, the Game Boy Advance is still lingering around. You still can get sealed, complete in box, sealed games. The Game Boy Advance is still lingering around. A lot of people didn't go too ballistic on it. It didn't really blow up. The only games that blow up, I think, for it is Pokemon. It's mad other games that's gonna blow up later on. It's mad other games. So I did like a $200, $300 investment with that. When I got those 200 cartridges and more, that was my little complacent. I was complacent with that. So that's what I'll say about that. And it's okay. Another reason why I would say, out of any consoles, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, PSP, PS Vita, Nintendo Switch, you basically could put over 1,000 or more cartridges in a Ziploc bag. You could fit around 1,000 loose games in maybe like one Ziploc bag. I think especially between Vita and the Switch, I think you could put like 1,000 games in a Ziploc bag. I think that's just like so convenient. You gotta remember about space. So if you could, more power to you. Wherever you or anybody else is at. Cause like that was just one lucky break I had over these 2 years to find stores that had like that many Game Boy games, and for that price, that was a little lucky break. But if you could come across some places that's like getting rid of Switch, PS Vita, any small cartridges, and it's around $3, $2, yo, fill up a bag. I mean, not a fucking little bait. Like, make yourself a big dummy bag of that, and just put it away. Forget about it. If you could do stuff like that, you know. So, but I consider that like a real easy investment. Like, nobody should be bursting their brain over that to spend that kind of money. You're not losing money doing that. You're not losing no money when you're doing that. So yes, I am very look. Pokemon. This is another expensive game for the GameCube. Animaniacs. That's another one that's one of the top of the list. Yeah, that's another expensive one. Animaniacs for the GameCube. But I'm telling you, these paper sleeves, whatever game you got that's a CD, just buy these paper sleeves, and separate the whole shit and get rid of the plastic case. I would, if you got like a storage, you got space or whatever, like an attic, boom, boom, boom. You could put the plastic casings in a box and put it away in the storage. But I would tell you separate your games from those plastic cases, cause it'll preserve the disc way. It'll preserve the disc way longer, yo. Really, in a nutshell, I'm just showing you about I gave it my own Ebonics terminology of a poor man's investment. That's really what I'm showing you. And something happened in that poor man's investment that I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose out too much on damages. I'd rather keep the damages at the smallest min. That's any business to say to y'all. That's any no, you're welcome. That's any business, y'all. You got like, and it's not easy. Any business you're gonna get into, it's not easy. You're gonna deal with responsibility. That's really anything that's of the business of whatever you're gonna do. It's responsibility. But prepare for try to if you got 100% of an object, try to work as hard as possible to keep the damages, let's say 15% of the 100%. If you just say, if you can keep it at 5, you're very good. So I mean, you got 90%, your product's okay, or 90. I say 90% your product okay, 10% over time could maybe have hiccups and damage. But I can only imagine, anybody who got like a shelf games, they might not know, and then to come and see this shit that I almost came across. I didn't like that feeling for myself, and I'd rather people start developing and learn more and more about it, so they don't have to go through that shit, because it's whack. That's a whack feeling. Even if you're spending a $5 or $10 bill on an object, but you did this for years. I don't care what kind of a thing it is. It might be something you like, and you spent $5 or $10 for years. I'm talking about, and then 4 or 5 years later, you're seeing like something might start happening to all those objects. That's whack. I would hope more YouTubers or whatever could develop to I don't care if it's a piece of paper you're into, string, whatever it is. It could be people to show you how to preserve it for as long. That's very important. How to preserve it as long as possible. I hope you're having a good day. Thank you for the few people who are willing to give a like and support. I very much appreciate that, and peace to y'all. Thank you for spending some time with me. It's really overall. You see everybody else doing things in short amount of time spans. Like, let's say one day you see a person walking up a block in your neighborhood, next day they're driving expensive cars, wearing all this expensive stuff. Don't burst your brain to rush your life like how they rush theirs. Because they might not be able to hold on to that same opportunity they did for as long as you might, for you taking the longer path. The longer path is always the best path. So, this is boring what I'm doing here. Oh, you ain't got no money. This is trash what you're doing here. I'm telling you, there's a lot of people who probably heard that a billion times over. They held those 200 or more silly wheelies, and then, Mario's are selling for 50 grand and better. Ha ha now. Ha ha to you now. So it's all a waiting game. It's all a waiting game. But in reality, don't you want to live to your 70 and better? So through your 70 years of your life, let's just say, or to your 90 years of your life, in your 15s and your 20s, while you're working, hustling, doing whatever you're doing, making physical cash, this one thing at this moment, you can also invest into other things that'll double amplify your cash. Triple amplify your cash in the future. And it's not just video game, books. It's all sorts of things. It's all sorts of objects. Sea moss, rice, sugar, coffee, tobacco. It's right, and that's right now objects. Every day people buy objects. So it's a lot of objects. Medicine supplies. It's all about the conversations that you spark and the people that you're around in your circumference want to spark with each other. So that's minds that want to talk about things that can maybe develop options and growth. Not, oh, yo, did you see the new episode of Skibbity Ohio? Yeah, Skibbity Gat Toilet. I like Skibbity Toilet, though. I like Skibbity Toilet. But we got to talk about some educational shit, too. Yeah, yo, there's a lot of people who got DVD movie collections and this, that, and whatnot. And they could wind up having that issue later down the line. This issue I'm talking about right here, they could wind up developing that issue later down the line. And that is not a good feeling at all. Who wants to go through looking through a bunch of objects? Not me. If I was really to say. Who wants to look through a bunch of freaking objects, bro? But like, yo, I'm gonna come back to this later, maybe. Thank you for hanging out with me for a little second, y'all. Peace and love. And the same. If anybody ever went to GameStop and you remember, yo, peace to you, Carpy. Yo, and you remember when you go to GameStop, these paper sleeves, yo, just buy these paper sleeves again. Just buy them again, y'all, and just separate all the shit. Be safe. I love you all, y'all.